British man jailed in Dubai for touching another man's hip has charges against him dropped after Emirates ruler intervenes. A British man who was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment in Dubai for touching another man's hip has today had the charges against him dropped. Jamie Harun, 27, from Sterling, was sentenced in his absence for public indecency in the Middle Eastern country yesterday. The electrician had been working in Afghanistan and was on a 2-day stopover in the United Arab Emirates when he was arrested in July. He said he put his hand on businessman Emad Tabaza's hip to avoid spilling a drink in a crowded bar. His German accuser dropped the complaint, but local prosecutors decided to proceed with the case. Now the Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has exonerated Harun, according to the group detained in Dubai. Harun is now free to leave the country after having his passport returned, they added, and said he is coming home tomorrow. He also said his parents are ecstatic that he is returning and told his mother she can stop crying after his experience with the absolute shambles of Dubai's justice system. Rada Sterling, who works for detained in Dubai, said, "The cases against him have been dismissed, and the sentence imposed by the court yesterday has been nullified. We wish to express our deepest gratitude to Sheikh Mohammed for his personal intervention in this case, and for exonerating Jamie at long last. It has now been established that the allegations against Jamie were entirely unwarranted, defamatory, and meritless, to such an extent that the ruler of the country found it necessary to step in and correct the wrongful action of the public prosecutor and to quash the judgment of the court." She added, "This was a courageous and honorable decision on the part of Sheikh Mohammed." While it highlights the urgent need for judicial reform in the country, it is also a hopeful sign that the UAE's leadership possesses the will and vision to pursue such reforms in the future. She said Harun is now considering a civil suit against the businessman and his staff who also accused him of drinking alcohol and making a rude gesture. When he was sentenced yesterday, he was given 2 weeks to appeal the decision. He was said to be angry, disappointed, and dreads what may happen next. He was initially jailed for 5 days and then released on bail with his passport confiscated. The incident occurred at the raucous Rock Bottom Bar, popular among Dubai's many wealthy and often tipsy foreign residents and tourists. Sterling said at the time, he has already suffered tremendously as a result of these allegations, and now faces the likelihood of incarceration. He feels betrayed and exploited by the system, which did not investigate the reports of key witnesses in his defense and led him to believe that the case would be dropped. She added, his family was unable to visit him during this critical time because they faced a very real risk of imprisonment themselves under the UAE's cybercrime laws which forbid criticism of the government. Harun had already been sentenced in absentia to 30 days in prison for failing to appear at a court hearing for making a rude gesture and drinking alcohol during the same July incident. Sterling said she believed a decree from Dubai's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, had resolved the case. In Dubai, as in the other 7 sheikdoms that make up the United Arab Emirates, absolute power rests with the hereditary ruler. It was just a public relations nightmare for the country, Sterling said. She said of Harun, he was understandably nervous, as similar calls from the police in other cases were merely tactics to lure individuals into police custody. But when Jamie arrived at the police station, his passport was returned, and he was told that he was free to go. The charges were dropped, the sentence annulled, and he faces no order for deportation. This came by direct order from Sheikh Mohammed. Sterling said that ideally such intervention would not have been necessary, but was grateful that the Dubai ruler took the initiative. She added, of course, a fully functional legal system would not require outside intervention, and a case like Jamie's would never proceed in the first place. But we are enormously grateful to Sheikh Mohammed for stepping in and vindicating Jamie after months of hardship. Harun was accused by another man of sexual assault for touching his buttocks during a dispute at the bar in July. One of Harun's friends, British national James Allen, 37, who lives in Dubai, told prosecutors that the Scotsman bumped into the accuser's arm accidentally, sparking the argument, according to court documents. He said Harun apologized to the accuser and placed his hand on the side of his buttocks as a way of apologizing according to court papers. Harun's accuser told authorities that the Scotsman had come from behind and hit him on the buttocks while drunk, according to court documents. The accuser said Harun laughed when he asked why he did it and later gave him the finger before police arrived. Harun also faced charges of drinking alcohol without a permit and over allegedly giving the accuser the finger during the argument. He did not attend his court hearing. Mr. Tabeza, the managing director of global technology firm Newman and Esser, is said to have received death threats following the incident. A spokesman for Newman and Esser confirmed Mr. Tabeza dropped the complaint. In a statement issued on behalf of the businessman, he said, with a certain distance from the incident and the punishment to be expected for the suspect, our employee decided to withdraw the complaint despite the harassment having been confirmed by several witnesses. However, according to the typical laws for the country, this does not automatically result in the termination of the proceedings as, for example, very likely in England or Germany. Dubai, home of the long-haul airline Emirates, long has sought to make itself a tourism hub. It has the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, as well as man-made islands, an indoor ski slope and miles of air-conditioned walkways in its high-end malls. It also will host the 2020 World Expo, a World's Fair held every 5 years. Part of Dubai's year-round tourism draw is also its alcohol sales, as Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Iran ban the purchase of liquor and beer. Even neighboring Sharjah, another of the UAE's sheikdoms, bans it. However, alcohol possession for foreigners is technically illegal without a government-issued license obtainable only after gaining their employer's permission. The liquor and beer are widely available in bars. Foreigners also have faced charges in the past for having sex outside of marriage. Such laws are common in other Mideast nations, based in part on Islamic legal codes. Recent incidents involving British nationals apparently forced UK Ambassador to the UAE Philip Parham to write a letter warning citizens to exercise more caution and understand local laws in the sheikdoms. Over 100,000 British citizens live in the UAE, while another 1.5 million visit each year, he said. Local laws and customs are very different to those in the UK and that there may be serious penalties for doing something which may not be illegal in the UK, Parham warned.